Well, hello, Dr. Ra. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you again.
And how are things going?
Well, on my end, excellent. I have a new key that I've developed that I call the Gammatron key, which are based on Gammatronic teachings,
Okay.
which has to do with an angelic consciousness, which I call the Archangel Gammatron, which is unheard of, which I'm bringing in here. Call it as an angelic creation or creating an angel
Right?
as an aspect of myself in a higher form. And that Gammatronic teaching is based on correctional programming of the misused Metatronic programming
Yeah.
and misunderstood sequencing of the Archangel Metatron. So the Gammatron is the governing program that corrects that. Certain programming in the human body that was misused to shut down the psyche and shut down the avatar and galactic citizen within yourself and your biological system. This is a correctional system that fixes the grid and reconnects you to dimensional patterns that are much higher and far, far away from the control of lower dimensional aspects that we had in the past. And that works hand in hand with everything that's happening right now. So I have what hopefully the recording works properly. What I have here, that is the key.
Okay, yes.
This is the Gammatron key that has 20 two-dimensional connections to the outer layers. And it has to do with that I saw the tree of life and I saw it 11-dimensional as in the old Kabbalah tree. Then I saw it as a 12-dimensional. I saw it reflected as a 24, the 24 beings around God on the throne, same as in the 24 meridians coming from your crown chakra, so always bring it back to the human body. And I got the number 22 over and over and over, and I said, okay, let's work this out. And as I'm developing this key that corrects basically the light body, the magnetic body, and the etheric body.
Right.
So you can say electric, etheric, magnetic.
Yes.
These three bodies will be matched and layered over each other. So you can integrate that. We call it the Holy Trinity. Is these bodies bridge actually 3 dimensions. 7 chakras for the 3rd dimension, 7 chakras for the 4th, and 7 for the 5th dimension.
Okay.
And the 22nd is the observer watching the 3 as this is being bridged. Basically, we're blending 3 bodies into one. So, and the key acts kind of like a receptive antenna to bring these light codes in and stabilize them within the body. So it's like a little bit of a spiritual crutch. So you can integrate the programming that's coming down to Earth much better.
So now I heard you mention that there was some mucking about that happened vibrationally.
Yeah.
To keep us basically, well, I know what you mean, to keep us suppressed.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Going back into the storylines, and I always say storylines are, you can say, biological interfaces so we can communicate with the vastness of ourselves better.
Yes.
That when you go back to human creation and the Anunnakis and the slave race control program and the gold mining. Interestingly, it's like the Earth was robbed of its gold, and interestingly, the monoatomic gold in our body is less also. It's as within, so without. So let's go back, let's say 500,000 years.
Right.
A lot of stuff that was taught in school is false.
Yeah.
It's actually not correct. So we had intelligent life on Earth way, way before we would assume that. And there are findings, and many, many people, report on stuff that was found on Earth. That's if you check coast to coast, it's infinite what you can find out there that does not fit your regular cultural school programming anymore.
Yeah.
So let's say, real basic, that the Anunnakis that landed here needed a slave race to mine gold and other minerals and control the human race because they had seemingly supernatural powers, but it was only what you would call superior ET technology. As in the creation of the human vessel, they put defaults in there. as in to keep you limited. Meaning, call it parasitical implants that will sit in your crown chakra, like your brain skin. Stuff that would sit in your bloodstream. Yep. And it will get you sick. Every time you would accelerate, it'll get you sick, basically. So these limiters are coming out now. So
this because there's a shift happening now, right?
Yeah, the shift, like you no longer, your body will be so light that light that you won't be able to carry these limiters anymore.
Right, exactly.
You can't hold it. So I had a.
So with the key, I know you're the original key. I have to be careful with it, not to wear it on a full moon sometimes, right? Because I'll feel it. It amps, right?
Yeah, it amplifies the light, and if you're not used to receiving that much light, it's like you wake up 7 o'clock in the morning and you're staring into the sun with open eyes. We can't do that because we're not used to it. Once we're trained, we can. So that's what these keys do. The new key with the 22-dimensional rings is basically the hologram that I have on the sticker that's placed on the key that you are wearing.
Yeah.
Was the channel idea of a holographic construct to put that as a program. And I thought, okay, if I make that 22-dimensional and bring it into form, then you have actually the 3-dimensional blueprint of that links with your light body. And that key, the new key, is same thing, is also filled with nanospherical quartz sand.
Okay. And
it's charged to the 10 to the 23rd, which is the light potency.
Okay.
Of photonic emanation, like meaning photons are shooting out of this. And it's equivalent probably of a couple of 100 kilograms worth of crystal quartz from a mine condensed in the sand. You know?
Well, I just want the listeners to know that, it really works, and what you've got going here really shifts things when you wear it. And I've even had where I've walked into stores and I've set off the alarm with it, right? Yeah, like there's something more to it than it's interesting how it heals and how it works, aligns you.
It is that powerful that it begins to affect how your car works. Like if your car had quirks and blips and squeaks, it begins to go silent. It harmonizes it, which will lead to the next invention, which once that is released, you will get a name and a website, I will start a company that we have achieved actually to save fuel consumption up to 30% in the car.
Wow. Yeah.
And we have physical data, It's not like claims, and a lot of people sell a lot of these fuel-saving magnets and you clip on your engine and whatnot, and it doesn't do anything. Really physical data that the field, what we call it zero fielding in the car, we're changing the flow structure of the molecule aspect of the fuel in the engine that changes the way it combusts. And you don't have to have it in your fuel line. It just needs to be, it's based on my key technology, but I'm encasing the key into another system, and it'll be as small as a pinky.
Right.
You'll be able to put it in your glove box and you do your own measurements. We did it with a Wrangler Jeep, and we had spikes up to 52% fuel savings and in cruise control.
Wow.
So we have physical fact, Now, the idea is to break the world record with the lowest fuel consumption in the world, and get that validated and notarized and approved and camera recorded. So that's all in the works. So once that's coming up, that will validate the functionality of my key even more.
Yeah.
that are actively changing the field with the device that you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And the new key is basically a pendant/pendulum.
Okay.
And I think this is the first version in the world that comes as such, that you can douse with the thing,
Yes.
or you can wear it. You can
Mm-hmm.
do both with that. So very powerful. The key will be $99, so I kept it in an affordable range.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go crazy. And mission is basically with inspirational tools as an essential tools. They get your light body in gear to let you partake more into how you can witness the miracles around you, the synchronicities that take place.
Right.
You should see more number digits aligning up as you're wearing the key, like 888, 111, 7, like license plates. That should line up around you.
Mm-hmm.
Because what it does, it structures the field around you and connects you to source energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that the mission is that we get out of all dimensional aspects of deities and gods and whatnot, and go as far as we can, in straight to the source, straight to light, out of all of these storylines.
Yes.
Archangels, this, that, yeah, we love angels, it's all needed, but you can go much higher.
Yes.
Where program construct of creation of flow, of source energy manifest through you is pure.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more idea or suggestion of what you have to do. There just is.
Yes.
You are put basically here to witness and not run it or put a dogma about what spirituality is. You are allowed to document it now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the mission. That you can unfold, expand, and grow bigger and really see yourself and get into whatever dream state you want to live,
Because that's the one thing, we were talking about the Anunnaki. I mean, that's the one thing that Enki wanted for us, was he wanted us to be in alignment. He wanted us to expand. He wanted us to discover all that we are.
Exactly. Right? That's why the church turned Enki into Satan.
Mm-hmm.
And Satan is actually a Arabic word that comes from shaitan. And shaitan doesn't mean snake, it means the whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
And not the tempter and the lord of illusion. That's not what that is. What Enki did is he worked against his brother, Enlil.
Mm-hmm.
And Enki was the one who went into Eden to tell the slave race, you are actually God material.
Yep.
You don't have to work for my brother. The Bible doesn't talk about that. Of course not.
No.
And he said you can leave any time. And the minute Enlil heard that, Enki has so-called betrayed him, he knew that he would lose his slaves.
Mm-hmm.
So he used basically what you call witchcraft, I call it ET technology, to threaten his creation.
Yep.
And keep the control going, because he needed a slave race to mine gold. Mm-hmm. And then it went out of control because, Adam and Eve is basically not just a couple, they were more beings in that garden.
Yeah.
When you go back to the basic level keys of Enoch, that book, the Adam Cadman is the original blueprint of the galactic human being on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be reactivated, and systems should be turned on, and then you realize who you are, where you came from, and then actually nobody controls you but yourself. And that you're allowed to witness the magic that's around you.
You're working diligently to help people align to this.
Yes.
And come out too.
Yeah.
And this
basically, that's when you walk away from me, you're a master.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a follower.
Mm-hmm.
I want people not to follow. I want people not to seek. I want people to find.
Yeah.
You're finding things. Mm-hmm. You have awareness. You have wakefulness. You're in a state of awareness. Meditation doesn't mean tune out and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Meditation means to be actually fully alert and wakeful.
Mm-hmm.
Know what's going on.
It's kind of interesting. I changed the style in which I do things years ago when it comes to hypnotherapy, and people don't close their eyes in my sessions anymore. They actually keep their eyes open, and they actually bridge between that great spirit within them and their conscious mind. Right? That's the whole point, right? And so we're working in similar avenues to help people come to this place. And so you were mentioning about the Metatronic energy, and that has been mucked up, and in this process of keeping us suppressed, right?
Yeah, it's basically there was a misuse taking place.
Mm-hmm.
People try to, curse Metatron and whatnot, but Metatron is not to blame. It's whatever entity or being or conduit came in place to misuse that. How do you say? The original Metatronic programming was not designed to shut down human species, and somehow beings came in there that misused that technology to shut certain aspects of ourselves down.
Yeah.
I said I'm bringing the Gammatron energy in there to correct that and reconnect the system the way it's supposed to be. It's like saying you have an engine and your engine is built to do, 4,000 miles an hour, and they put a limiter in there and you will do an 80 miles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have this big engine and it's junk DNA and it's all turned off.
And we're the only mammal on the planet that has junk DNA. Eh?
Yeah, which is not junk DNA.
It's not.
It's just turned off circuits. It's like a turned off motherboard that turns on all your applications and skills, telepathy, levitation, all of the stuff that you have. It's just dormant, and it's connected to a link of the collective consciousness that doesn't believe in it. It has something to do with that too. So what we're doing now is I'm creating so much light that it doesn't matter what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
When the space around you and the impression of that and your perception changes, you ultimately will reprogram your belief structure.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we, that's what the Arcturian sequence is doing. Like, there's no control, and you must, and this and that is a suggestion. If you're ready for it, you want to show the other kids there are other playgrounds where we can have adventurous fun and feel free and live in abundance. And you don't have to blame anything in the system or utilize the system to transform the system and make them see that.
Because it's basically, this is what's been coming up here in the last little while, and I've been really feeling this, that it's simply about a walk away. We don't have to fight it, we don't have to argue with it, we don't have to do anything with that system. It's simply realizing that we are the ones creating reality.
Yes.
We're the ones, and a lot of times this conspiracy and everything else is only getting us to get our head into it and recreate it some more.
Yeah.
Instead, we're out here, really, and we can literally walk away and that just disappears. I mean, I've seen that so many times with the Arcturian energy, is that if you don't entertain it in your system, and you just keep your focus, this, whatever this is, just fades away.
Exactly. It's like I see it like this, that to me it makes no sense to, let's say they will have a demonstration in Washington against the government, and you have the brick throwers and the people that want to create some havoc to make something known, to force the government into anything. And I believe that is not the way to make somebody or anybody to do anything, to go there and make yourself even a target with so-called criminal activities. Then you're playing their game, and then they use you as a picture, and then there's another fear installment because another demonstrator got hit with a brick by a cop, and then it's back and forth. We're creating this. I say, no longer shall I go to demonstrations or war zones, or shall I make myself a target for things that really cannot be changed that way.
Yeah.
But but if I find out that, let's say, I don't want to name any names, a certain product doesn't have the specifications that I'm looking for, then nobody's forcing me to buy that product. Nobody's forcing me to watch cable.
That's right.
Okay, so I can take my TV and go online and do digital media research, look for conscious media, and then I realize I'm changing reality in my perception, that I'm no longer entertaining the BS. It's like I'm seeing this funny picture. You see a big grocery store, let's say Walmart, and in the middle you see Jesus, and then a big sign, and it would say, "What would Jesus buy?" And everybody would know what that metaphor means. If you are conscious, then think about what is it that you really need. And what is just fluff that sits there. It's just some fancy stuff that you buy, and nobody ever needs it, and it doesn't do anything for your soul.
Yeah.
Like, do you want spend $20,000 on stuff that the doctor prescribes to you, and for 10 years you run to the same doctor and you have the same back pain? Or do you want to go to somebody that checks your meridians, charges less, fixes your back, maybe fixes your craniosacral structure, fixes your atlas bone? It's a one-time treatment. You don't have to come back. You probably spend $800 within 2 years, and your hardware is actually reset to the point that you can be metaphysical, that you can be psychic, that you can function really. Get into the nitty-gritty of alternative medicine, not blaming the pharmaceutical industry, but transition out of what is unnecessary and unchanged. Why would I take medication that is only for temporary relief? And people have, I've been taking these pills for 30 years. That is insanity to me. You take something that numbs your nerves from the cause that is affecting your body, and you're being treated on your symptom, not on your cause. I want the causality to be found by a doctor that has the skill. And if a doctor that doesn't have the skill, I want us to be big enough to say, well, in that department, I'm not that trained. Why don't you go to my colleague? He's a specialist in, and then we pitch, and everybody can be abundant. But since everybody's on this old system, I want my money and my cash, and I get $800 an hour for my patients, just looking at them and telling them what teacher to take, so they will come back in 2 months to get the same teacher. We need to get out of a looping mechanism. And when we can show people the insanity that they're trapped in because they're doing things over and over and over and over again, then your mind goes like, why are you're running against the brick wall here, and you've been doing this for 30 years. Maybe it's not so painful when you go around it. And I'm convinced that the human consciousness will go, oh, this feels different. You have to give them, of course, a feel of experience. This feels nice, and it doesn't require miracles. For some people, it needs that, but sometimes maybe, simple things in life to make it simpler for you, to make it more pleasant, to give you more headroom and give you more space. And you can earn your money. So don't blame the monetary systems, don't blame the banking systems. You can blame the corrupt people within it that steal from people, that make their money and save their money and pay their taxes. And I've seen it in other systems, whether it goes from rental offices to other authorities that skim money. They just take. And it goes into the banking system, It goes deep into the high structures, Might even go to the tax system. If you lay that stuff transparent and look at everything, and this is what's coming out too, where people get upset, numbers will come up where people are like, oh, okay, you've been stealing for 20 years now. And people be like, okay, you're fired, other people's leaving the country, and it'll blow up because you can't get away with this taking from the whole, where people really, really put their money together for every cent, and they're being honest about it. And then you have other people coming in there like identity theft or whatever they do online and steal from these people. Nobody goes to the rich guys and takes from them because they fear the industrial and police force that's behind them.
Yeah.
They go to the poor people that literally, bust their ass and takes, clone credit cards, take from their accounts. And I'm like, this has to stop. We need to develop, or we have the opportunity now, as the ISON comet passes us, to understand the novelty as it's being downloaded into us, that we can make a difference by not entertaining non-essential things in our lives.
And I really believe that is the option. Is we have to, I put it this way, we have to grow up and realize we don't need dad anymore.
Exactly.
Which is the government.
Yeah.
That we're beyond that.
Yeah. Oh, for some people, it's their parents.
Yeah.
You don't need mommy and daddy to fall back because they have the money to get you out of shit again. Because a lot of kids live that. Even kids in their 30s are still living that. Can you generate for yourself with the craft that you possess your own income without falling back into this governmental mommy-daddy system when how much did they take care of me? Because that means, I have no responsibility. I put it on somebody else. So I blame it on an external force that has the responsibility for me. Well, why not get up and say, well, it is my responsibility how I define my life. It is my responsibility. What jobs do I pick? How do I make money? How do I want exchange? And how do I respect exchange? I see people too, and Bashar has mentioned that, everybody wants apple from the trees. But those that are too lazy to pick the apples from the trees, they want it from the apple picker, and they want it for free. And I say it is the opportunity for us to realize respect the universal exchange of energy. If somebody picks the apples for you, pay them for their labor. Out of respect. Well, wherever this monetary system goes, exchange will always take place. If I take water from the well, I have to replace it with something else. You know, life force or giving.
I agree totally.
Always, and there always has to be an universal exchange. You know? We can do gifting to a certain degree, but if everybody runs to the well for gifting, then the well goes dry. That doesn't make sense. So everything in moderation. Everything in balance. Little communities, that are not based on governmental structures, and I believe that will be the future. That you don't have to wait for something to be shut down and turned back on. How does that going to affect your life? Not really. Unless you have a government check that says pending because you depend on mommy and daddy. Here we go again. If we as a community come together and help each other, let's say somebody has a health issue, you got a community of 5,000 people, and this person needs, let's say, X amount of money to get, a broken leg fixed, extreme case. Well, if everybody chips in $50 or $100, case solved. And nobody suffers. And if we can come back to that, and agree on that, and find each other in that way, in that pattern, we are galactic citizens, then I believe we're also ready for open contact. Because then we can understand we have actually neighbors, we can let that in. It's not so far-fetched and not so magical. I can't believe that we still have people that say UFOs don't exist. There is no life in the universe. We are the representation of intelligent life in the universe. And if we are here, then just do the math. And some professor, I forgot his name, did a probability math formula development of what's the probability of how many races can exist around us. And it's like within the known universe, it can be 500,000 humanoid species that can exist next to us. We don't even know it. So this is the step where we are right now. To understand, you have neighbors. Like we have Italians in Italy, Spanish people in Spain, Germans in Germany. And there are people that lived in a little island, and I call it the woulda, coulda, shoulda island. They never do anything. They always talk about possibilities. They always theorize about life, but they never engage in anything, and they don't want to travel, and they don't believe that they have neighbors. So it's up to us as a collective to show them the experience that there are neighbors around us and with us and protect us and guide us to the best of the abilities, not to shock us and overload us, that we can understand that this time we can do it better, and we have to clean up our backyard. And it's not the government, it's up to us, the inventors, the crazies out there, not to go the egotistical route. It's just me and nobody else, and get up and start cleaning. And that's what I do. Like I even work on a device that clears out riverbeds, that is a crystalline generator that works with ionized material that doesn't need any electricity. If you set it into a riverbed, it'll clear the water, it brings the pH level back to its regular level, and it produces oxygen. Where science would say what I'm doing is impossible, but I have test runs in labs, and it works. So I'm no longer waiting for a validation of an expert that no longer is an expert because he doesn't explore the impossible realms that I went.
Well, that's it.
And I show the people online, this is what it does. We also have a guy who produces what they call idle water, AIDO. He can turn motor oil into chlorophyll in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then science says by nature, it takes oil in the settlements to turn to a natural substance 10 million years. That's what science says. The guy has proved them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sits there, has no investors, that shows us how asleep we are. Sits in Switzerland, sells his little bottles. You can drink it, you can use it as cleaner. You can even spray your curtains with it, and your curtains have such a high pH level, that they won't burn. It makes fabric fireproof. And it's on the market, so it's up for us to find that, investigate, do it yourself.
Yeah.
It shows videos on YouTube, pours out the motor oil, uses a few spritzes of his spray, eats that chlorophyll, all turns green, and feeds it to the fish like protein. So the magic is taking place.
Yes.
It is here.
Yes, it is here. We are among us.
Yeah,
right?
So we need to get up and get it together. Like, to me, it's like I have the idea where I wonder, why doesn't any billionaire come find this guy, fill up a ship, go to the Gulf, and just pour out the water to get rid of the oil clouds that are underwater. All they need to do is pour that alkaline water into the stream, and the Gulf has a chance much faster of repairing itself by having underwater fertilizer be created within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Why is that not being done, Like,
Exactly.
I'm just real simple. Like, I call myself a master assembler. Why is it that we can't find these people, which are online, which have addresses, product, and whatnot, finance that? Let's not fix the planet. Karmically, the best thing to do. People say, I don't know, $300 million that they make a year, and you can't, you can't stop the radiation in Fukushima. A good friend of mine on a radio interview, name is Patrick Flanagan, genius inventor, said that he has a device that can somehow reverse the radiation sequence in the Fukushima, which they know every hour this thing pulses a frequency of equivalent of an atomic bomb. Every hour, like hitting people. Everybody that lives in an area in 20 years, a lot of people will just be dead. It's just fact. But nobody talks about that. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to face it. And I'm saying, again, why isn't, and anybody that's listening to the radio that has any connections, find the guy, get the device, it's probably as big as a radio, fly to Fukushima, find an apartment or a special place, and set it up and turn it on.
Yeah.
It's simple. It is as simple as that.
Or what have they got to lose?
Yeah.
Either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all here. So it's not about conspiracy, it's about us not getting it.
Us not getting it, yes. Because we could do that, right?
Yeah.
Us,
like
we
I
could
do, if I had the money, trust me, I would invest. I want to talk to Patrick Flanagan. I want to look at this, really what that is, and investigate. If I had the money, I'll do it now. I'm saving my money to do these things that nobody does. Basically, I look at stuff, and if I feel like I want to complain about something, that tells me that what can I do? What's in my power that I can do to make that change without complaining?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to make living better and give you better opportunities of, hey, that's actually cool what you're doing.
But Ra, this is because you don't sit in the left brain going, there's no solution. You pop over to the right brain and say, what can we create as a solution? Right? And this is so important for everybody to start to do, too, is that there's a trap, and it was something that was set up, and it was a trap to get us locked over in the left brain, where we're just over there going, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. And yes, there's a problem. What are we going to do about it, right? But switching over, this is part of also turning on your DNA. This is also part of what you're doing here with the keys, is to help people get that activity.
Remind them that your DNA activation lies actually within your own training. If you train yourself to think in a different way, to perceive world in a different way, and you can catch yourself where you're boycotting yourself, which is easy. Just observe what you are doing. How do people perceive you? When you practice one thing, and if it is juggling, for 21 days, guaranteed your DNA changes. Because you're training your brain a different synaptic flow, how the neurons can fire. And that gets you to higher brain states. But if you don't look into brain foods, how to eat alkaline, and you can eat anything that's eatable, there's no judgment or rule of what should be or shouldn't be, and stabilize yourself to a healthy body, and see what it is that you consume. When you minimize consumption, you come into higher states of awareness. You don't need to be a guru, or you don't even need to eat any psychedelic substance to find that out. Just because you are psychedelic, you are made out of tryptamine, you're made out of dopamine, you're made out of serotonin. You have dimethyltryptamine, which is DMT, secretion that's produced by the pineal gland once it's active. You have the opportunity to decalcify your pineal gland. Stop using toothpaste that includes fluoride, because that calcifies your pineal gland. Also, what calcifies your pineal gland is watching TV, such as, I don't know, news channel, CNN. If you watch nothing but drama and decay and murder and mayhem and war, your brain creates that within you, and it shuts down. Life gets shut down. If you show people pictures of death and people dying, guess what happens to your DNA? And it's proven. Your DNA shrivels together. It curls up. It can't receive the light that it needs to expand in life. And guess what? Your organism begins to die. It's nothing magical. It's like, just look at it. Get up and investigate. Some people are brain lazy. They don't want to study, but they want to complain about life. Do the studying for me. Anybody can do that,
People don't realize that we are the manifesting component in this reality. That by watching this stuff, you're playing it out in your mind, you're sending it out into the future, and it's coming back as experience.
Yes.
If you're allowing something else to do that for you, to occupy that process, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here tonight, is get involved. Start seeing what you want to see. Start expanding. Start looking for different things, right? Get out of this emotional, because I say that there's a different currency going on here, and you can watch it. There's the currency of money, but on the higher levels, or different levels, I shouldn't say higher, but on different levels, it's the currency of emotion. And they're playing this drama emotion to get people to produce that emotional state. But I want to talk about the fact that there's a change of power happening here.
Yes.
That it's going from Inky's brother to Inky.
Yeah. That
this shift of power is happening now. Right? That we're in that. That's how come we're seeing all this exposure, and certain things are erupting, right? Is that true?
Yeah. The power shifts from Enlil to Enki, if you want to put it this way. And you have seen the government shutdown, how that affected us, what really people felt. We have this conspiracy of power outage coming, or the government testing. They want to shut down the grid and turn it back on around November 13th. I think that's not going to happen. I think we have a lot of extreme sun flares happening right now. That's why these changes take place. I've witnessed we have power outages all over the country that nobody talks about. We even had one in Sedona, which I believe is according to sun flares. And a lot of energetic shifts, like our consciousness is being jolted to get in gear, to get active. We're being forced to wake up. We can't even run away from that and lie in our own pockets. That's not happening. I've seen people how they create their own reality. That I see people that had a lot of money, and they're creating a poor mindset because they want to be poor and homeless. They're creating it, meaning like they don't have to be homeless. Some people were born poor. That's a different story. But I've seen people that had a lot of cash, wasted a lot of money, and made the decision because they want to experience this And we have the opportunity to realize nobody makes you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to watch, I don't know, I don't have to watch police reports or about police brutality that don't involve me, where I have nothing to do with that. I don't have to do that. You know,
I wish
we can protect ourselves by monitoring everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have your cameras with you, your cell phones, everything you see in injustice, record it and put it on YouTube, because it's time for transparency right now.
Yeah.
And everybody that messes up, this will be like an interdimensional fishbowl 27. If you're an ass, then it will be seen. And the healthy communities will protect themselves from people that misbehave, that misuse or run their programs. And they will reflect the programs that the people carry. So if you have a program of insanity that's reoccurring because you're using people, you take distortion, you take money from people, you cloak it in your spiritual awareness, and everybody comes, and you call it potluck and whatnot, and everybody supports you. And when somebody shines some light, say, hey, wait a minute, this dude over there doesn't even make any money. Everybody's paying for his way so he can live. And there's no contribution, it's just promises. You need to, like Esther Hicks says, wake up to the fact of where are you right now. And only look at what is with you where you are right now. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't add anything to the story. Where are you? Who are you dealing with, and what's being communicated? And if that's being seen clear, then you can say a little bit of ruckus is going to create, because people are going to split. They're going apart. Because there's a guy there who's the intimidator, who has friends because they're intimidated by him. That no longer will work, because it'll be seen. You're intimidating people with a guilt card, and they follow you because they feel guilty if they don't follow you. We need to release all of this. It's free, all of this, to say, let's see clearly, you're free to do what you want to do. You don't have to follow anything. You are allowed to find things and turn yourself into a master. You're Jedi. You're a Magi. You're intergalactical. You're ready to go interstellar. That's all on you.
Yeah. And that's important for people to understand, that you can't follow somebody and get this that you're going to need to get. If you follow somebody who's teaching you to follow them, but to hang around with people that are empowering you to be all that you can be.
And you will know this. You will see that in your circle of friends who wants to be a leader, has nothing to show for. Look at the industry out there. A lot of copying and mimicking, how they steal systems and copy it and want to run with it, or steal inventions and want to run with it, and they're not prospering, because they have stolen. And right now, embody your creation. Be who you truly are. And if something makes you upset, you're allowed to say, you know what? I'm not in resonance with that. I don't feel that.
Yeah.
You have to get out of being people pleasers all the time, pleasing somebody just to be loved. Not everybody has to love you, but you could make sense.
Yeah.
And if a car mechanic can fix a car, who wants to argue with the car mechanic if your engine is running? That's what I'm saying. So Jesus said, and I'm not a Bible true Christian or whatnot, I'm just looking at scientific facts. Jesus said, you will know who's who by the fruits of their labor. And in the future you will see, what are you creating? Are you at home, or mommy's couch, mommy pays the rent, and you claim to be a cyber guru, and you run your little forums with your theoretical rhetoric, and you change nothing in the world? Or are you somebody, that's somebody that bought land, somebody's building bubble domes, somebody's really setting up crystalline cities using crystalline concrete, and they got this new thing called hempcrete. Set it up, bring it into manifestation. It takes the physical to create the physical. We need to get out of this, I'm so over-spiritualized, I'm all the way in the heavens here, and nothing is manifest. And when that is clear, a lot of, you can say 90% of the spook is gone. The what-ifs and the promises that never take place. It's like, what are you effectively doing physically? What's the physical exchange? And how is that being promoted and transported? And how do people that actually find that resonate when once they report. Let's say if 2,000 people that had cancer get healed with linseed oil treatment, and they all say that they're free of cancer because they got liquid high dose form of vitamin C within their system. I want to believe that the power goes to the people now. Not to the so-called expert that banks off his opinion, whether it's right or wrong. It's just because the expert it says so. The expert is you. And in the forum. This is what I love in YouTube. If you have too many negative votes, you get deleted. So you can see that these cyber cells that we are building are protecting themselves to be healthy. Same thing with Facebook. If you harass people or too many people report you, then your name will be banned or you'll be out of this spiritual society or wherever you are. Systems will defend themselves against cancerous cells or people that such. And what's coming now with the ISON comment is like, leave yourself open to, there won't be no mega power outage triggered by the government. Plus, think about all the hospitals with all the life support systems and all the lawsuits they will have if they shut it off overnight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I say an EMP can knock out electricity or burn it out. It doesn't have to shut down an entire system. And I say we will have a very rare planetary constellation that nobody pays attention to while everybody is busy with doomsdays. November 22nd. So November 28th is a high-power novelty download window where the ISON stream that hits us transmits the rest of the upgrades for our DNA. So we will have the wildest, weirdest, and wackiest dreams and sightings will increase because we're being switched on. Yeah. And I say to the highest outcome and the highest probability of these magical happenings, I leave myself open for that more than any other theory. And tell people, concentrate on November 22nd. A lot of shifts will take place. And it's powerful. Getting us in gear for this year was the seeding year. Next year is where a lot of stuff will be built, a lot of things will come to play, a lot of inventions will be shown or birthed that will change Earth, and it's happening.
Yeah.
I see as the conscious networks gets more in numbers, don't focus on any weird stunt on YouTube that has 90 million views. Why don't you check somebody that has 600,000 or 1 million views but is spiritual and is consistent? The fan base or the listeners are consistent and the support is consistent. And on these cells we should focus our attention to see for what works. For the other thing is the world of illusion, and the world of illusion will crack and crumble left and right, and we're seeing it.
So I want to ask you, what does it feel like when you're wearing this new key and you're receiving this new alignment from this new key?
For me, it's like a rush. It's like I wake up in the morning and I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. I feel like my entire stomach gets like lifted and then dropped very fast. Wearing the key, usually it calms down after I wore the key for some time, and then now I can distribute it and ship it. It took me like a week to get used to it. Because I get more sensitive, more psychic. Plus, I work with the key. I take nanoatomic gold. If you want to Google it, it's called nanoatomic, produced by Nazir. I take Ormus, which you can find on alchemetics with an X.net, which people have very tremendous results. Like, you have to give your body the tools to heal. It's not just, I'm 300 pounds heavy, I put the key on and tomorrow I'm slim. That's not how it works. You have to do physical work and work with that, and then it can assist you even better.
Right.
So I feel very grounded. The key, not so up in the air. I get my downloads very stabilized and anchored in the body.
Right.
And I scribble down my atomic structures. Like I have stuff that I see, I don't even know how to bring that across. It's like I received in my channel that for the RNA and DNA to restructure, it's difficult if you have an energetic, I'd say if your magnetic alignment comes from an old 4-dimensional fear construct. Genetic programming goes back 20,000 years.
Right.
With the Kia, I found out we can create something which is an energy bubble of a zero field.
Right.
Where the DNA can restructure itself, unfolding light codes in your body undisturbed.
Good.
Any other scientists would say, like, oh, you're full of it, how do you see that? But I can see that. That creating a neutral zone as in a pit stop for your body, where you can get into repair mode without being bombarded by the old paradigm.
Exactly. Yes.
By taking you energetically out of the loop of a belief system that used to work because it no longer works. And change everything around you. So, plus the alignments that take place, and I'm working on it's happening so fast right now. People are ordering, and I'm blessed, and I'm working on a technical detail right now for the key as we speak, because it's like I have to channel it.
Yes.
I have to look what's there, what's the evidence. I have things pop up as the nuclear reservoir of the atom. The science has yet to even go there, what that is. What is a nuclear reservoir of an atom? I see these pictures, I get it in, I write it down, I document what I see. And then make their own experience if they are in resonance with it or not. So I can say what I want to say is that you either are in resonance with me or you're not. All I can talk clearly, transparent, not give you like weird scientific words that you don't understand so you lose track anyway and not just sound intellectual. Really break it down to the simplest thing that you can integrate, make you smile, and give you an experience in the body that you can feel because your higher self or your highest aspect knows. And that guides you,
Yeah.
It's like I'm looking for a street, like this month we're planning to move. And a guy shows up and says, yeah, I got this house here, and it's in close proximity, the rent is ideal. And he happened to be like, I found him online, and he happened to be hanging out at the same cafe that we just found. So you got to look at alignment.
Synchronicity, yeah.
Synchronicity. And I'm walking out of the cafe as I had a very nice talk with the guy, which would be my future landlord. And I was thinking, what about this guy? And then a truck passes me by, and the back label says, people you can count on. And then I'll take that as an affirmation to myself.
Right.
I'm on the right path here.
Yep.
And I realized if I don't trust that, I struggle more. So that's for everybody out there, if you want to get into more awareness, I do these energetic readings too. I call them galactivations. They get you more into your awareness that you have the greatest assistance in the world, yourself. Perception of such.
Right.
And the shield and the best protection is not a prayer and not calling the angel. I call it awareness.
Yes.
See the world for what it is, see your surroundings, and read the signs. They will show you the way. That's yours. There's no question. There's no question. And once you have that, you'll be abundant. I don't care where you live. If it's in Africa, Budapest, Germany, England, Australia, Canada, you have the opportunity to say, hey, I can put this and this together, and I'm abundant. Abundance is come running through you. You have ideas. Everybody has ideas.
That's right. Everyone does have ideas. Everyone needs to be connected to their own source within, the source itself.
Yes.
Everyone needs to separate from these demi gods. We've got a chopper, do we?
Yeah. Military. That's why it's that loud.
Yes. And where do people go to get a hold of you?
Like, you can find me on the YouTube channel, Arcturus Ra. See the philosophies and ideas that I drop and inspirations to get people into their own mastership and godhood. I have yet to map out workshops that I want to do on Gammatronic teachings. How to align yourself in a very fantastic way, but very valuable way, a very functional way, like where you have an experience the next day. And so for everybody that has worked with me, I have no complaints. Like, none of my clients say this doesn't work or that doesn't work. Like, when I do card readings, I do energetic readings where I'm looking at your human operating system. the HOS, like what does your subconscious really operate from? Like I can give you an example. If somebody creates fake wars and conflicts in life and can't see himself, I can see in the cards, oh, you have a broken record here, which is the elusive warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I can tell the person, if that's the case, you looking for battle where there is no battle, that gets you in conflict with your surrounding environment. And you have the opportunity now to look at your operating system. That's where you're operating from.
Mm-hmm.
You can change.
Mm-hmm.
Should you, however, make the decision not wanting to change that because it gives you a sense of false comfort and safety for egoic reasons, you will lose all your friends, the place where you live, and the financial income that you have, because I call it the higher self dispensations levels. This no longer will be enabled and supported when you behave like a warrior from, let's say, the Viking times. That no longer is needed because we're not fighting these battles no more, even though you have the cell memory. But you can let that go.
Yeah.
Civilized, intelligent, if you're not in a war zone, you don't have to come with combat gear.
Right.
It's just
Yeah. And to get the key itself, where do people go?
They go to ra-key.com, fill out the contact form, and just ask for the Gammatron key.
Mm-hmm.
The key, I'm still working on uploading it, so if you don't see it on the site, don't be discouraged. Still ask for it, because everything's happening so fast, and I'm a one-man show. I have no assistance. I'm just building it myself, uploading everything myself. So I'm writing the technical details right now. And then I have a community within the YouTube viewer section. It's called the Ascenders.
Mm-hmm.
Written AZENDER. And then on Facebook I have the Ascension League as a group, and the Arcturian Science Lab of Ra. So you can find me there.
Okay.
So and follow the YouTube channel. That keeps you updated with all the latest and greatest technologies that I'm bringing, and I'll bring much more powerful devices next year to the table, such as water structures, water energizers.
Okay.
And I will record people testing these things. I will record people with their experience, people that have bought the Ra key in the beginning. There's a short movie called the Ra key experience. So you see, I think, 15 people that talk about their personal experience that came to visit. What happens to them when they put the key on? How do they feel? What's their experience? Which I then in return add to the experience of the keys. So this is what it does. Because sometimes it does stuff to people that I didn't even have in mind.
Yeah.
It changed their life, and people say, I walk in the store, people talk to me all of a sudden. Animals come to me. I begin to open up. So all I do with this is basically a light carrier that inspires you to receive and perceive more.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make you depend on it. It just opens the feeling aspect and experience level to that you can actually do that.
Right.
It's here to assist you. When I say, spiritually, when your mind was spiritually broken, it's okay to have a cast, so you can walk by yourself. And for that transitional ascension tool is the key, as in the new Gammatron key.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you hand make all of these, so.
Yeah, I designed them, and I had a guy assisting me in milling them. Mm-hmm. Because you can't drill them all by yourself, so you need a machine. Yep. So I gave the measurements, which are based on holy and sacred math. Mm-hmm. So I need that in that design, and then they put it together, and then I have a neat jewelry piece, which is actually my first complete design jewelry piece. Yeah, no presets, like the stuff that you wear. Like I had this pill container version as that was already a set module that I use in the assembly. Mm-hmm. Now this, from everything top to bottom, is my design. Completely. Good. Nobody controls that. Nobody owns anything I have prior use. This is copywritten. All of this is protected. And I'm very happy. This is my first piece, and many more to come.
Yes.
Gamma and the highest output for your brain state. A gamma brain wave is very, very, very high functional, very alert and awareness. And Tron as in circuitry. So like a light motherboard activation, that's what Gammatron is for. 9 letters, 9 stages to be born, 9 physical forms, and 9 is also angelic. So call it angelic reverse engineering for self.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. And is there anything last things you want to say to people?
So people should know the key is available as of now.
Yes.
Even though you don't see it on the page right away, it probably take me a week or two to upload it, but it can be ordered.
And all you have to do is go to your site, and your site will be up on the video here. Go to that site, and just go into the contact form. Yeah. And just request it.
Just request it, and I reply immediately.
Yeah.
It goes directly to me. Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully, your people had some powerful insights on the comet situation and the blackouts and life itself, and think positive, because all the positive things are here to happen for you.
That's right, and it is for our
it's for greater good. We're being upgraded. We can let go of that whatever fear programming that took place. Because why have fear when right now you're watching or you're listening, you're actually okay. You have nothing to worry about. Just move forward and see clear. And be yourself.
Good. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Okay, bye for now.